All right, hey there, Northeast Ohio. We got a couple warnings telling you yesterday that we've got this line of thunderstorms on its. Whoa, about lost the table there. Look out. I told you yesterday, and Phil told you earlier today, we've got this line of thunderstorms on the way. Well, here they are. Some of them, as expected, could be strong enough to produce some damage. And yeah, here we go. We've got a warning. I'm going to zoom in on it right now. We'll kind of show you right now the reasoning why I'm popping onto YouTube and Facebook, and it's just for this storm right here. And I'll talk about the whole forecast in a minute here because this is kind of borderline damaging. I want to show you because it is so far away from the radar. This is what I'm looking at from Ashland through Perrysville. That includes like Jeromesville. That includes Lake Fork. It's all right here next to me on the screen here, heading toward Lake Fork, Nashville, Shreve, Worcester, eventually into Wayne County, and also northern parts of Holmes County. But this is it. The strongest portion of this storm is going to be right here. I can actually point to it on the screen here. I can draw on it as well, but I'm going to point to it. So it looks like this spot right here. This is where it's kind of bowing out a little bit, where you see this little kind of lighter stuff on the backside of it. That's the storm, kind of the upper level winds pushing it all forward. There's probably going to be some strong straight line winds out ahead of that, approaching McZenna, Funk, eventually Overton, Millbrook, Shreve, and Worcester. But for right now, it's right on the edge, right on the cusp of moving into like Funk and McZenna and Lakeville. So that's the main batch that I'm watching. You've got some heavy rain, probably some hail in there as well. Because this is warned, the National Weather Service is talking about the potential of maybe 1-inch size hail. And it's definitely possible. I'm going to show the velocity first. I'll get to the hail in a second because it is 52 miles away. This radar beam is 3,000 feet up into the storm. The main stuff I want to look at is the bottom 1,000 feet, and this is way above that. So as far as wind at the surface, it's not going to show me much, but that's right where it was showing me some pretty good wind just a little bit ago, showing some signs of weakening just a bit. So that wind is heading into McZenna, heading into Funk. I'll put it in motion for us over the last 30 minutes so you can actually see what it's been doing. The potential for damage is there, but it's not nearly, there it is. This is what I'm looking at. This little spot right there. That's the main portion that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on, is as this system this cluster right there tries to make its way off towards the south and, southeast for the most part, east-southeast toward like McZenna. So yeah, be careful. There's some big wind with this. As far as hail is concerned, with those brighter colors, those brighter pinks, it's embedded in that reflectivity I was showing you. This right here, the brighter pink just north of McKay, that's a good indication that you've got some large objects. So the potential for hail is there. We can pop on the old this product here, and it's going to show us maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch size hail. Yeah, 1/2 inch to 1 inch size hail with our product there. So as expected, the potential for 1 inch size hail, plus we're going to get in on the wind. Gusting, I haven't seen anything over 50, but it's definitely doable. When you get these kind of bows like this, you get the shape of this storm that just kind of rotates out like that. It pushes out ahead of it. What's happening, like I said earlier, is it's those upper level winds just kind of pushing. It's working up. The storm's building up, and it's kind of pushing those upper level winds downward toward the surface, and it's bowing it out like that. So big time straight line winds possible with this as you kind of move through Jeromesville. Let me zoom out just a second here. I'm going to put a track on it so we know where we're going, know what it's headed to. For the last 30 minutes, it's moving pretty quickly. So let me measure this out real quick. This is probably the best way to kind of get a look at what's going on. This is a little behind the scenes on how I do this. Over the last 30 minutes, because a lot of times it'll just do like instantaneous. Over the last 30 minutes, this storm has moved 12 miles. So that's what, 25 miles per hour? Let's put a track on it. That's not very fast. That's pretty slow moving, which makes me think, I'll put it at 30. Shreve at 228. Not a whole lot not a whole lot of trackable towns in that area. I think I could draw a slightly better track on it, kind of get the whole edge here. We'll see if we can pick up some more cities in it. 25, 30 miles per hour, not picking up much. After 230, probably 245, it'll make its way into like Worcester, that 83 corridor through Wayne County. So that's what I'm looking at. That's why we're on here. I'll answer some comments and some questions. If you're in here, please let us know if you have any questions, if you have any reports, any statements, anything you want to say about these thunderstorms, then we can go ahead and answer those questions if you have for them. And the reports are always super useful as well. Caleb asked if there's anything severe. Yes, this right here, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This probably goes for the next probably 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes until 2:30 for Wayne County, parts of Ashland County. Richland County is now out of it. That's the Mansfield area. We'll get into the forecast because I think a lot of these questions are going to talk about the forecast and what's going on with this activity. I want to throw the lightning on. There's a lot of lightning with this system right here that's pushing through Ashland County into Wayne County. So it's got some energy. It's got some potential with it. So yeah, West Salem, lots of thunder. Jennifer, thank you very much for that report. Snow report, Cynthia. Oh, it's about cold enough. This has been the chilliest late spring, early summer, essentially, right? Yeah, Matthew, definitely a mesocyclone. What he's talking about is the upper levels of this storm are kind of rotating. The low is nearby. This is going to give the atmosphere a little bit of a twist, and it'll allow that updraft to support some hail. And that's what he's talking about with definitely a mesocyclone. Probably before, if you're in Wayne County and you're seeing this thing coming in, you probably got an incredible looking shelf cloud out ahead of it. I don't want you to take pictures of it. Again, if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck. I always say that. So don't necessarily. There's a lot of lightning with this. So I'm not saying go out and take pictures of it, but the leading edge of this, look at that. Yeah. So that's going to be some big time wind near Jeromesville heading through. You can see it pushing. You can see this right here, how it kind of clears out a little bit. It's pushing that storm. So this whole leading edge right there, as that pushes outward, that's where you're going to see your strong straight line winds. What's happening? I'll go through this several times. What's happening is on the upper levels of this, on the back side of it, it's pushing that storm forward, and that's what's giving it those upper level winds at the surface. So Funk, Jeromesville, I'll zoom in a little more on it, looking at Blakelyville, Creighton, Shreve, Cedar Valley, eventually Worcester. Worcester, you're not in this warning, but still make sure you're paying very close attention. You probably see that shelf cloud coming your way. It's beautiful land out there. So you got a pretty good view if you get through some of those rolling hills just on the other side of the county there. Threat for Medina County, not really. Yes, some thunderstorms and some heavy rain and some downpours, but as far as a warning, as far as damage, as far as what you're expecting with these warnings, it's not likely. It's possible. I'm going to be real. I told you yesterday, these things, they're going to build up. Temperatures have warmed up into the 60s now, so we've got the energy, but I don't necessarily think we're going to see a widespread severe weather kind of event with this. This one right here just kind of popped up quickly. It's gusting itself out. This one will probably drop all its hail and gust itself out within probably the next 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes anyway. I'm watching from Massillon. Christina, thank you very much. Wadsworth, Massillon, these areas ahead of it. Not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Doylestown, not in the warning or anything like that, but it does look like you're going to get in on some heavy rain and probably some gusty winds as well. You good? We're live. Yes, sir. Facebook, YouTube. All right, you're good. Take your time. Cindy, we all did. Threats from Medina County. Again, I just kind of answered that. What direction are they moving, Jennifer? They're all moving east. They're all moving east at about 30 miles per hour. They're going to go through a range, probably 25 to 30. So I'm going to put it at 30. So it gives you a little bit of a head start, give you a little more lead time on the leading edge of this. I'll track the whole line, even not necessarily what's all in the warning, but that's way too much. We'll put it at about 30 miles per hour. And that puts it in Shreve at 233, Worcester at about 240, Glenmont within the next couple of minutes, within 5 minutes here. It's 220. as we're doing this live, 226. So give it about 5 minutes and it'll be rolling into Glenmont. But again, Glenmont, you're not under the severe thunderstorm warning. You're far enough south into Holmes County where, yes, you're going to get some heavy rain and some gusty winds, but I'm not expecting damage or anything like that. Really, the only spot for damage with this would be pushing into Wayne County and maybe northern Holmes County. Yeah, throwing the velocity back on here. It's not a lot because it is so far away from the actual radar. It's not going to pick up a whole lot in the upper levels. Might get some 40 or 50 mile per hour gust in there. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. That's what I'm watching here. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm on Facebook. That's why I'm kind of popping in here just to let you know. Some other areas around, you've got pushing through Lorain County. So Avon into like Westlake, Bay Village, eventually Rocky River and Lakewood. You'll get in on this activity pushing through out of Lake County and into Cuyahoga County. This is going to be some heavy rain, maybe some small hail and some gusty winds. Not a lot of wind with this. It's just a bunch of rain, heavy rain, and lightning. Lightning is lighting this stuff up. Not nearly as much as that storm to the south, but definitely going to get in on a downpour with this as it moves through Elyria, Avon, Sheffield, Lorain. Here's the big storm. Here's the main reason why I'm kind of doing this little Facebook Live and YouTube Live is it's just for that. All right, let's turn the lightning off so we can see what's going on with this storm. Still gusting out, still has that bow echo, still has that potential for straight line winds. How does Cleveland look right off the shoreline for the evening? I think, Adrian, by the evening time, a lot of this is going to be pushing out of here. Let me pop over to one of the models. That's the best part about this whole setup I have here. I've got everything right here. I can just sit here and show you all my thoughts and all my tools, all the fancy gadgets we've got here at the TV station to show you what's going on. Let me throw it up here. Here's one of our latest, more accurate models showing those storms. I mean, it's on, right? It's pretty much dead on. I'll go forward. There's 4 o'clock. Look at that storm already through Akron. That's 2 hours away, an hour and a half away. It's already through Akron, through Canton, through New Philly, through Cleveland also. If you've got 5, 6, 7 o'clock plans on the west side, other than just a couple downpours, I think the severe threat and the strong storm threat, that's going to be gone. That's going to be getting out of here. 6 o'clock, it's pushing out. So if you've got evening plans, it'll be wet. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely going to be wet. I've got rain still hanging around. It is definitely going to be a soggy evening. And tomorrow, I don't think we dry out tomorrow until probably late into the day. It's going to be a wet day tomorrow. Wet, chilly, and breezy. I mean, temps are going to be holding near 50 essentially all day long. So to answer your question, as far as when these are going to pull out of here, I think it's pretty quickly. I think it's going to be a quick exit. Back to the radar, back to that warning. Let me see if I can pull up our chat with the National Weather Service as well. Sometimes they tend to, they'll put a couple little chat comments about if they're going to reissue it or not. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did. There's not a lot of radar confirmation that there's strong winds with this, but there is a look of what could be a bow echo with this, which lends us to believe at the surface you've got some pretty strong winds aloft about 3,000-4,000 feet up into this storm. 3,000 feet up. You've got some winds. The green you're seeing there. What I want to see for anything for damage, I want to look at the top right corner of your screen there, or top left corner of the screen. You see where it goes from green to blue? That's the legend. Whenever you get into that blue in here, or vice versa, if it's a different direction, red into that pink, we put that there on purpose. It's kind of different than what you might see somewhere else, but we've put that color change to specify where the damage is going to be, where that 60 mile per hour break is. So if I don't see any blue on here, it's less than 60 mile per hour winds. I mean, we're closer to 30, 35, maybe 40. So we're not seeing a bunch of wind with this, but I still do have that potential for hail. Not even large hail, but maybe some half-inch size hail. This is borderline severe. There's criteria for severe thunderstorm warnings. It's borderline, but that doesn't mean we can't see some damage. We can see damage with even non-severe thunderstorms. Just heavy rain now in Cleveland, no thunder at the moment. Yeah, I mean, you're on the leading edge of this activity. So Cleveland, no severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that for Cuyahoga County, not for Lorain County either. Put this in motion so you can see what's going on. If you're asking questions about like Avon, Westlake, Strongsville, North Ridgeville, pushing out of Lorain, yes, there's some lightning with it, not even a ton. Pouring in Sheffield, yeah, so we're just talking about, Debbie. That's going to pull out pretty quickly, and it'll just be light rain. So heavy rain for about 15, 20 minutes, and then it's light rain after that. Crystal, what happened to the nice weather? I'm done with this. I hear you. I'm ready for some summer, ready for some heat. Geauga County, yes, you've got some showers coming through. It's very brief. It's very just isolated stuff right now, but this whole line will eventually make its way toward Geauga County, and I do expect some heavy rain, maybe even some damaging wind. It's possible. Laura, you're welcome. Laura, you're absolutely welcome. That's why we built this. That's why we're here, just to help you guys know what's going on. Jason, how's it going, man? As far as the winds, we are not having. Jennifer, where are you at? We're not having any windy activity. Trees look like they're still. Where are you? Are you in Wayne County? That's the kind of report I want to see. Thank you very much. But then just tell me where you are. Geauga County estimate time of arrival, Andy, for the storms near Fairgrounds. I would say probably between 4 and 6. 4-ish, that leading edge, probably closer to 3:30, 4 o'clock to be realistic, to play it safe. 3:30 to about 5 or 6 o'clock before it gets out of there. Thundering and heavy rain, lightning in Elyria. Not terrible as far as the damage. Yeah, no. There shouldn't be much damage, if really anything. How about Willowick? Very similar. This is the stuff that I'm watching for Willowick. This cluster right here is going to eventually, what's happening with it is it's just a bunch of rain. It's raining itself out. There's not a lot of fuel up here. And with these couple little showers out ahead of it, it kind of eats up what fuel there is. So I don't expect this to get much stronger. If it gets a little bit stronger, kind of pulses up, gets a brief little burst. Might do some isolated damage, but I do not expect widespread issues from this activity at all. But I'm going to watch this slowly. I mean, it's slowly creeping eastward at about 25 miles per hour. Individually, it's going a little bit faster. That storm near Wayne County, pushing into Wayne County right now, or through Wayne County relatively. But yeah, look at it. Let me pull up. I'm going to pop up the Worcester High School camera. Because this is going to roll right into Worcester. I got to find it. I got a bunch of stuff on here. Here is the Lakeshore cam. Looking at the crib. That's not what I want to see. Here we go. There's that shelf cloud. Let me try to get rid of. Yes. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. This is Worcester High School. You see that leading edge right there? What's happening is those upper level winds that are pushing it essentially this direction, pushing it out essentially out towards the camera a bit. It's diving. It's cooler air. It's rain cooled air. There's some heavy rain back there, and as it's pushing it this way, it's creating essentially just like a bulldozer, just a plow, just plowing forward. And as it's pushing this direction into that warm air, it's lifting that warm air and it's just condensing it as it rolls through. So yeah, that's it's not super evident, super clear. It's not, a textbook one, but it's there. It's just kind of broken. It's not as perfect as what you might see. Some of the weather nerds in the chat right now, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the clearest looking shelf cloud, but that's exactly what that is. And it's stretching all the way down. The storm motion is essentially, that direction. That is some heavy rain. That is some heavy rain on the backside of that. I'm going to pop up the Akron. Well, Akron camera is going to be looking northward, so it's not going to show us anything. Yeah, look at that shelf cloud. Nothing tornadic. This is a supercellular, or the mesocyclone essentially above this is what's kind of rotating up here. There's no surface rotation with this. So it might look pretty ominous and pretty scary, but as this continues to just kind of push on through, it's going to be the straight line wind with that shelf cloud followed by the heavy rain on the backside of that. And that is where the severe thunderstorm warning is at. And as expected, like I've been telling you, winds are marginal at best, 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. So they've allowed that warning to expire. I'm going to stay on here. Don't worry. We're going to stay on Facebook and YouTube. That's what I'm here for. We're going to stay on here whether or not there's warnings or not. I'm still going to be here to watch this stuff out because it's still impactful. We've got graduations. We've got folks asking about the fairgrounds, right? It's summer almost, not technically until the end of June, but it's almost Memorial Day weekend. Max, I do not have the Hudson High School cam. If you do, send it to me. Send me a link to it because I would love to see it. Hudson has been a hot spot for active weather. If you've got it, send it to me. I'd love to see it. David, how's it going, man? You're a storm spotter out of Willoughby? Cool. Well, these storms are going to arrive probably within the next hour on the east side, so you're probably going to get in on some heavy rain. But there it is. There's that broken. I'm going to go back to the live cam in Worcester High School. So there's that. Let me get out of the way here. There's that shelf cloud right here pushing this way with the heavy rain following behind it. Look how low visibility that is. It's just murky. And you can't really see much. You can't really see much of the clouds. It's just heavy rain. Out ahead of it, it's relatively clear. It's warmer, like mid-60s, and it's a bit on the steamy side. But behind it, you've got that rain-cooled air, and that's what's pushing this direction across Worcester High School with that leading edge out there. Man, what a great camera to show that. What a great camera to show that. That's awesome. Okay, so what's going on for Canton? Andy, just heard thunder North Ridgeville. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna hear that in North Ridgeville. I'm gonna pop over to our radar and we'll talk about Canton. You got a couple rumbles out ahead of the main line. There's a little bit pushing through like New Philly, pushing through Tuscarawas County into New Philly. You've got Strasburg, you've got Dalton, Bolivar. These are some downpours. This is some heavy rain, but what's crazy about severe thunderstorm warnings is there's criteria. It's wind and hail. You could have 577 strikes, over 500 strikes with this alone. Again, that's the whole view. So probably about 400 or 500 strikes right here. Not enough wind, not enough hail, so no warning. Vice versa. You could also have one lightning strike and 60-mile-per-hour winds, which is pretty rare, but then they could issue a warning. I mean, all you need is the wind or the hail criteria to be met. Now, that's still heavy rain. You could have so much rain and lightning, but it still doesn't make it severe, meaning damaging from wind or hail, unless you've got that, the potential for wind and hail. So Massillon and Perry Heights going to see some bad weather. Yes. As far as warnings are concerned for Massillon, you've got a couple downpours near you. Not likely. Let me turn the lightning off here so much that it's just blinding us and we can't really see it. And it's just kind of gusted itself out. There's not enough dynamics. There's not enough energy. The low's a little too close. There's not enough going on to support these to go on and last for a while. So they're not necessarily going to be hanging around for long. But talking about Massillon, yes, you are about. Let's see if I can time this out for you. Storm velocity, I'll put it at 30 miles per hour. And I can time this. Oh, wrong button. I just ripped the map away. Yeah, 45 minutes. About 22 miles away. So 45 minutes. So give it 30, 45 minutes. You're going to start to hear some thunder and see some lightning. You might have some downpours already. It might be a little bit sooner than that because of the stuff to your south. But just know that it's before that heavier rain and maybe those gusts to about 40. They'll hit you in about 30 to 45 minutes. All right, next comment, Streetsboro. Let's get up to it. Let's start talking about Streetsboro. Yeah, you're going to get in on it as well. As far as the severe, I want to be very clear. This is not severe weather anymore. It's not damaging. We might get some increases, but the bulk of the energy is down here. It's south of New Philly. It's closer to like West Virginia. So, and it's really not even, it's kind of getting worked over right now. All of this mess right here, this unorganized convection is what it is. It's just eating up the energy. So I don't expect this to get much stronger. I'm going to watch this. Of course, this was showing signs of weakening and it is underneath that severe criteria. The warning's gone. This is just some rain, but look at that. That's been hanging around Lorain County. Let's zoom in on it. You've got a green box, which is a flood advisory for Lorain County. Oh, I went way too far. That's because of how much rain. That's because of how much rain has been falling over Lorain County. I can show you how much rain. We have got it set again, like I said earlier, with the wind. We've got it set to kind of show you that big time rain change. At 1 inch, it turns to green. At 2 inches, it turns to blue or yellow rather. So this is going to be right at around that 1 inch range as far as the rain is concerned. So yeah, we've got some rain coming our way. Heavy rain rolling through Lorain County right now. The reason those aerial flood advisories are issued is because of it just has to run off. You have to give it some time. The creeks and streams and rivers are going to be fine, but it takes a while for all this rain to run off, especially around like subdivisions. Any of those gutters, like on the sides of the streets, they start to fill up pretty quickly. Orville, you're kind of behind it. You're kind of behind the, I take that back. Let me pop it over to the reflectivity. Let me get back down. You're not behind it. You're ahead of it. I was thinking Worcester, but yeah, Orville, you've got a few minutes. I'll put the time of arrival. You're gonna see that shelf cloud that I was just showing you probably in about 5 or 10 minutes, and it'll take about 5 minutes to blast through you, to go right on through with some pretty gusty winds. Lodi, Massillon, let's see. Lodi, you've got just showers. The heavier rain is just to your south. Massillon, it's coming your way as well. We just kind of gave it a track just a little bit ago, so I'll put another track. There's a few folks in Massillon want to talk about this. So you're about 30 minutes away from the heavy rain. Again, there's no severe thunderstorm warnings with this. I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys on Facebook and YouTube and answering some questions as much as I can. There's no dangerous weather with this other than the fact that there's just a ton of lightning, which on its own, when lightning, if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck by lightning. So we always say when thunder roars, go indoors. That's why. Just texting with the newsroom to kind of coordinate with what's going on. We've still got newscasts later on today, but we're going to cover all this stuff until it's pretty much out of here. All right, so more questions. Twinsburg, Brunswick, everybody else. Yeah, Brunswick, you're pretty close to it. Twinsburg is farther away than Brunswick for sure. You've got some time before those storms roll in. And it's not severe weather. We're not talking about damaging thunderstorms with this. I am talking about some heavy rain and some inconvenience. Lightning is out there. Not a ton with this stuff to the north. Only about 100 strikes with this activity just to the north. There are a few more, a couple hundred once you get up into Wayne County. There's 400 for this area, all in this view right here. So that's where we're going to see the potential for some trees that do come down, but not from wind. Hail should be a ½ inch or less, so that's not damaging. Once you get closer to that 1 inch range, that's when we start talking about hail damage. Okay. Trying to catch up on some of the comments. Trying to catch up on some of them. No wind in western Holmes County, but just heavy rain. Pat, thanks a lot for that. Yeah, the warning was they kind of let that expire. 35, maybe 40 mile per hour winds with that. Nothing too crazy. Jenny, you're welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Olmsted Falls, dog is hiding. Thunder boomers in Olmsted Falls. Yeah, it's an issue. When you've got dogs, sometimes they were like, I think they're called like thunder jackets or thunder coats or something like that. You can put them on the dogs so the anxiety doesn't mess with them too much because it's loud. I mean, there's a lot of lightning with this. There's a lot of thunder with it as well. As far as Parma is concerned, I'll zoom in and show you. This is actually moving relatively slow, actually very slowly. So that's why we've got the flood advisory for Lorain County. That includes Avon Lake, Lorain, Sheffield, Elyria. Probably not like Grafton. It hasn't quite moved into the Grafton and Eaton area, but Oberlin, absolutely, you're going to have some issues around there as well. Let's see if I can. Lorain's on the back side of this. Let me show you Worcester again. That shelf cloud has already moved by, and it's just soaked, just dumping heavy rain. Dumping heavy rain on Worcester. And this is going to be very similar for like Ashland. We've got a camera at Ashland University here. Just dumping rain for sure. Let's throw Akron in here. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. Yet. We'll get that in here. We'll work that rain into the Akron area. Probably we can track it out. There's no probably about it. Showers move into Akron. Whoop. I let off too early. Showers move into Akron, the Akron area, in about 45 minutes. And then after that, you probably got some heavier rain that comes in about an hour. So light showers for about 5 or 10 minutes and then some heavier rain. Yes, David, you're right. No warnings for anybody. I'm hanging out here with you guys, just helping you plan the rest of your day. That's why I'm not breaking into TV coverage. None of this is life-threatening. Look at that watch box. This is exactly where I was just showing you where the energy is. That's that tornado watch right there until 8 o'clock this evening. That does include Tuscarawas County, Carroll County. That's the only 2 counties included on our viewing area. So that's the area I was just telling you about. These storms that are going to be building are spinning. They're rotating. So even though they're not like what you're going to see out like west into the plains, they're not huge supercells. They've got enough spin in the atmosphere to at least spark up maybe a brief tornado. This is interesting. Look at this. Lightning strike way behind the line. All of these strikes way behind the lines. And it's not just because they're old strikes. Those are current strikes. These storms, any thunderstorms, can have lightning upwards of around 30 miles away. That's only 10 miles away. That's not even that far from the actual push. So once that rain stops, it's still not, the perfect time to just head on out and, resume your Wednesday fun. You got to wait until you can't hear the thunder anymore. If you're close enough to hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck. Sheffield Lake isn't too bad right now. The deeper areas of the yard have about a half an inch to an inch. James, man, thank you so much for your reports. Half an inch to an inch of standing water, about 3/4 of an inch of water curbside of the road for the storm sewers. And that's where we get into these area kind of flood advisories. It's the storm sewers. It's those gutters on the side of the roads. When you get these downpours, before there were roads, they just soaked into the ground and ran off. Well, now there's subdivisions and roads and streets and buildings everywhere. So all that rain has to go to where it's planned on, where it's designed to go. And those get overwhelmed with these downpours like this. So we got to deal with some of this stuff near a lot of these bigger cities. You don't get as much of this when you're talking about, being out in the country. David, man, I'm digging the weather talk. Talking about CAPE, let's go. He's talking about 1,000 joules of CAPE. CAPE is convective available potential energy, meaning the energy that's available for convection. So it's just waiting for a storm to pop up, and then it'll have about 1,000 joules, which is moderate. It's not high, but it's moderate and it's enough. I think more so. It's the shear, it's the spin that's available with that. Amy, thank you. I'm pretty nice. I try to be nice to everybody. Golfing at Parma at 5. It's going to be cart path only. Definitely, for sure. But the heavier rain in Parma, it should be any heavy rain should be pretty brief in Parma by 5 o'clock. It's 2:45 right now. And the reason I'm saying that is because I can pop the graphics on here. I can pop the one of our latest models, which is actually doing very well with timing. It might be a little aggressive with kind of pushing it in a little too fast, but as we go to 5 o'clock, might not be as far as Ashtabula, but it is probably going to be trying to dry out of Cuyahoga County, Stark and Summit counties. Also the same thing for Carroll County. As far as the tornado watch box, here, I'm going to zoom down here and show you what I'm talking about with this. These thunderstorms that are rolling through now are eating a lot of that energy. So you were talking about the Cape earlier, the energy, it's getting eaten up right now. So there's not a ton left, but there might be enough spin where if we get one of these storms that gets a bit strong enough, it could be rotating. Overnight tonight, it's just rain. I'll walk you through your Thursday. If you're looking at your app and it's saying wash out tomorrow, yeah, it's going to be breezy, be gusty tonight, gusts to about 30. Then tomorrow winds max at about 20. Look at the showers, though. It's just wet. Temps near 50 degrees tomorrow. Yikes. Tomorrow's May 22nd. We average about 73 this time of year, and we're having a hard time even making it to 60 tomorrow. And again on Friday. I think Friday's drier, but it's not much warmer because on the back side of this, here, let me go all the way forward with this. Zoom out. The low, the heavy rain, all the strength, is way out. It's way out here behind my head. This is all northwest winds coming over the lake, which is near 60 degrees, and it's going to keep us cool through Friday as well. So we've got that working for us. Right now, I am tracking some strong storms across the area. It's not necessarily as active. Nothing like what we saw yesterday pushing through like Tennessee, Knoxville. My Knoxville friends. Okay. Yeah. It's borderline. It's a big area. It's a long window. Right now, the stuff going through it is eating a lot of the energy. So I would say the potential. This is Drew, one of our web gurus, and he's talking about getting ready to send out a push alert for Tuscarawas and Carroll County, some behind the scenes info. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Just know that it's not necessarily likely that we're going to see a tornado happen. Got to make sure everybody's on the same page. And there's not a whole lot going on with this system. That's about it. We're dealing with about the only severe weather. There's a bunch of lightning across the Gulf Coast, but nothing too strong for them. And this is showing big signs of weakening. Check this out. We're down from over 500 strikes to under 300 in this portion right here. I'm going to turn the lightning off so we can get another view of this. How cool is that shelf cloud going through Worcester High School's camera? Don't get to catch those very often. I'm glad we got to see that. Love the cameras. Avon for Cinnamon GT. Avon, heavy rain. You're just getting dumped on right now. You're getting heavy rain. There's a flood advisory for your area. It's because of how slow and how long this has been hanging around, a good 1 to maybe 2 inches before this is all said and done. Lorraine, Vermilion, Wakeman, Florence, Oberlin is on the back edge, but Lorraine back all the way through Sandusky. It's light to moderate stuff, but there's still some more rain. All right, so there you go, David. You're forecasting and everything. Love it. Love it. T, what's going on? If you guys have any questions, Lodi, Ohio, Lodi and Medina. Heavy rain. Heavy rain. Let's pull it up here in Medina County. There's some rain. There's some heavy rain, mostly light pushing into Medina. There's a couple little downpours just out ahead of it. But a lot of this is just some light stuff on the leading edge. This is just green. It's not heavy rain. The reds you're seeing, the yellows you're seeing out on the back side of this, that is heavier rain. But again, it doesn't matter how heavy the rain is. It could be, record-breaking heavy rain, but they still can't issue severe thunderstorm warnings for that until there's wind and hail. Massillon just got tornado watch. Massillon's not under that tornado watch. I want to be very clear that there is no tornado watch for Massillon, but you might have got like an alert for it. It's just to the south of you. And again, the tornado threat is still extremely low. So Megan, don't worry too much about that in Massillon. I would worry in Massillon about some heavier rain, some thunder coming through. This is pretty gusty. It's not terribly gusty pushing through Wayne County, but a lot of the area between Cleveland and Canton hasn't been touched much today. It's still warming up, and it's still pretty steamy. I mean, we can look at the temperatures right now, and we can probably see exactly where that moisture is. Yes. So that's where there's that fuel. Elyria, Mansfield, Ashland, your temp's going to drop this next update. Sandusky, Norwalk, and Fremont, you're in the 50s. You drop behind it, your severe threat is over. But the 60s out ahead. That Cleveland to Canton, New Philly, probably not much because of that line that's rolling through now. But Cleveland to Canton, you've still got some fuel. You've still got some fuel around. I can actually pop up and see exactly how much. Go over to the Storm Prediction Center's website. Pop in. Okay. This is. It's going to let me do it. All right. So this is some behind the scenes, some deep weather stuff. See these red lines here? This is where we have 1,000 and more, like we were talking about, joules for Cape, and that's going to be that's definitely going to be where the bulk of the energy is. So that's what I'm looking at for severe weather. There's not a whole lot on the backside of it. So there's a little quick look at what we're talking about as far as the severe potential and it being mainly south for more of that energy. The rainfall rates have definitely dropped. Orville, definitely getting some heavier rain right now. Thunder, lightning, and hard rain. A lot of lightning with this. Less lightning. The storm is really starting to fade away. And it just looks like a bunch of rain. So this is that borderline that I was telling you about, essentially the borderline for severe criteria. Everybody got the rain overnight last night. Phil was here early in the morning tracking out some strong storms. And I told you about this break. I told you yesterday, if you're watching yesterday evening, we're going to get this break, and then we're going to see another line come in. And the second line, if you're looking at your apps, it's telling you rain all day. It was nice earlier before these rolled through here. But the second line is going to roll through pretty quickly as well. So Orville, everybody's getting rain. Everybody's getting heavy rain for the most part, but only a couple of us get enough strength for damage. Raining right now in Olmsted. Yes, absolutely. Some pretty good rainfall. Put this in motion so we can all see what's going on. If you're back here on the back side of all of this, your severe threat, your heavy rain threat, even your downpour threat, this is all going to be much, much lower. Just showers circling around on the back side of this. The red box you're seeing here, we did actually have a warning that just kind of rolled right through there with some heavier rain, had some briefly gusty winds and maybe some 1-inch size hail. That's why the National Weather Service issued that warning. But the red box you're seeing there, that is the tornado watch box. That's Tuscarawas and Carroll counties. But I want to be very clear that the threat for Tusk and Carroll counties is very low, very low. The farther south you are, getting into West Virginia, it's a bit higher, but it's still not even that impressive. So this is kind of what I'm watching. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so we can see what's going on. So my chair's not in the way. So this is the previously warned area pushing through Wayne County. We just had a comment about Orville getting some heavier rain. Will this start headed for Stowe? Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to get some heavy rain within, it depends on where you are. I mean, you're getting it sooner. If you're west of 77, you're going to get a little bit later. If you're east of 77 and north of that 76 corridor. So this is kind of where it's all eventually going to be going. This is all going to fill in as it rolls through. This is rolling this direction. This is rolling this direction. And it's all eventually going to move into the east side and mess with some evening plans. But Youngstown south through, into West Virginia, that's where some of these storms might have enough spin, shear to pop up maybe a tornado. All right, any more questions? Lightning detected 11.1 miles from Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, yes, that's let's see how accurate that is. It's rolling in. Put the counter on. There's your strike. There's your strike. That's your closest one, right along that 71 corridor near like the turnpike. Just had that latest flash. thunder in Canton. So what you're hearing now is the heaviest rain, and that's a good point. In Canton, you're hearing thunder, but there's no heavy rain in Canton. It's all south of you and well west of you, like a county away. It's in Wayne County. But if you're hearing that thunder, we just had a strike. In near like Massillon. So as soon as you can hear thunder, I'm talking about like now or maybe 5-10 minutes ago, it's time to bring the kiddos inside. I know school's wrapping up at about 3 o'clock here. So it's coming up on 3 o'clock. So we're going to try to be getting out and about. Maybe now's not the good time, not the best time with this lightning coming through. Thunder in Medina, absolutely. When thunder roars, go indoors. All right, in about 5 minutes here. Hey, Meredith, you around? Paula, I'm trying to answer them. What are the questions I missed? There's a lot of questions I'm trying to get to. Oh, my plug fell out. All right. So, yeah, I got you now. What time? Okay. Fair enough. It's just a couple quick little crosstalks, right? Can we just kill him? Can we just cut him out? It's just 2, right? Can we just get rid of him? So I can just stay over here. You guys can do your stuff, right? You don't need me to stop. Yeah. Okay. David. Yeah. If we can. I'm going to stick with this stuff. Thank you. I know. Damon. I thought you said David. Sorry. I'm talking to in my ear here. I'm talking to the directors. I'm talking to the producers and everybody they're trying to get ready for some pre-production for the 4 o'clock. That starts at like 3 o'clock. And typically weather's involved in that, but with this going on, I'm just going to go ahead and stay with you guys. Because right now I want to tell you, I want to kind of walk you guys through this stuff. We were talking about tornado watches. We're talking about severe thunderstorm warnings that were hanging around just a little bit ago. Hey, Mayor. If you need me, text me. I'm going to unplug. Thanks. So now I'm all yours. No more distractions. All right, let's get to it. Just at the airport. Which airport? Where are you talking about? Hopkins? Yeah, heavy rain. They may do a brief little, sometimes with this, they'll do a brief little stop down until this blows through because it's very difficult. And with all this lightning around, they may do a brief little stop down at the airport. It's possible. It's flooding in Elyria, Cheesecake, Roblox. Yeah, I mean, there's that flood advisory for Elyria. High water. You get the problem. It's calming down. There's less rain, but you get so much rain in there that it's got to eventually go somewhere, and it just takes time for the runoff, especially in the cities, the neighborhoods where all that rain, it gets funneled to the roads, and the roads funnel it to the sides to those, the drainage issues, the drainage sewers. So that's where you have the issues. All right. Any more questions? Yes. Tuscarawas and Carroll counties, there is a tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock. Again, I'm going to be clear. I don't expect any tornadic activity for Tusk or Carroll counties. But I do expect some heavy rain. It's rolling through right now. After this line rolls through Tuscarawas County, the severe threat is also going to be dropped down to about 0. And that's it's going to be the same for just about everybody else as well. Lorraine Elyria, Oberlin, Sandusky, Erie and Huron counties. You've got some heavier rain rolling through like near Norwalk, but the severe threat's relatively low, if not zero. Colleen, is any of this going to hit Ravenna in Portage County? Yeah, absolutely. The heavier rain will, for sure. You're going to get heavy rain, showers at first. There will be occasional rumbles of thunder. Like what you're seeing here, it's very unorganized. Where there is more lightning, it's rolling into a little more of a kind of a fueled area. Not a ton of lightning, but you're seeing that little burst just north of Orville. Might start to see, let me get the lightning out of there, might start to see a little bit of development near like Doylestown. That's going to be lit up. A lot of lightning, meaning a lot of energy. So it's kind of pulling in some moisture and some heat. And it might strengthen briefly. Might kind of pulse. Yes. Severe storm filmer for sure. Models show trough after trough after trough. If you're on YouTube and in the comments and you're looking at that, yeah, when is it going to warm up? Next week looks cool. The week after that looks cool, but I do expect this chunk of cooler air to sink all the way far enough south to some of our friends well south to maybe get a bit of a break. Let's see some more questions. Turn around, don't drown. Absolutely. That's what we like to hear. I'm going to turn on, where's my next camera that I have? I think I can pop in the Cleveland camera, and that might give us a view. That's the crib cam. There's a view from Huntington Bank Field looking toward the Science Center. I don't have the Hilton cam, but we do have the crib cam, which is great, which is going to give us a good wide view of Cleveland as it rolls. It rolls through. Dover getting drenched. Let's go back to the radar. Let's go back to the radar. Dover, New Philly. You are under that tornado watch, getting some heavy rain right now. Crossing that I-70, 77 corridor, Mineral City, East Sparta, moving into Carroll County. Carrollton just had a downpour roll through. You get a little bit of a break, and then you get another chunk of some heavier rain that rolls in. And I actually think Berlin back near like Sugar Creek, I know you've had a break, but I think you get another burst of some heavier rain coming in on the heels of it. Akron hasn't had much lately. Hasn't had much as of yet. Let me show you the Akron camera. It's actually still pretty nice. 67 degrees, west winds. At dew point at 60, that's important. Oh, I'm sitting right in the way here. That dew point of 60 right here, that's actually a lot of moisture for our temperatures in the 60s. That humidity is pretty high, so there's quite a bit of fuel available for these thunderstorms. Ashland is going to try to dry out. Worcester is going to try to dry out as well pretty quickly. Look at that little clearing on the backside. Man, Worcester got hit with some heavy rain. Not a lot of wind. That shelf cloud rolled through, dumped for a bit, and then trying to calm down. So when somebody was asking about Parma, asking about golf at 5 o'clock, if the heavy stuff can pull through, I mean, that's 2 hours away. Might be an okay evening. It's going to be wet, don't get me wrong, but the heavy rain might be out of here. Wellington, Ohio cam. Colleen, I don't have one. I wish. I wish I had some. When will the lightning stop in Medina, Lori, so you can take your dogs out? It's around. It's going to be a while. It's definitely going to be a while. It's zoom in on Medina County right now, or at least in Medina. Where are we at in Medina? Just in the town of Medina. There's not a bunch, but you can still hear it around. So I want you to wait. When thunder roars, go indoors. That's what we always say. If you're close enough to hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck. I want you to wait for this to pass. Same thing for the kids getting off school. Yeah. Yeah. talking about we barely had any sun today in Cuyahoga Falls and Akron. Does that help at all? Yeah, that limits. That limits. If we were in the 70s, then we would all be under a tornado watch. We would all be talking about some big development. I mean, the low here is nearby. It's pretty close. You can see it if I put our regional radar on here, give it about a longer lapse here. You're looking for that counterclockwise flow. So you got to push this direction. Let's let it lapse again. You got to push back this direction, and you got to push this direction. So there's that counterclockwise flow. So your low is going to be Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo area. As that low slides on through, there's enough spin in the atmosphere. That's the center of that low, meaning lifting air, and it's relatively rotating a bit as well. So yeah, if we had more heat, then we would absolutely be talking about this line right here. This line would be rolling into some very fueled air. We don't. We've had mostly cloudy skies all day. Temps are only in the mid and upper 60s, so we're definitely struggling. Power out in Sheffield at Abbey Road, at Abbey and Detroit, really. So there's some stoplights in that area. There's definitely some businesses around there. If you approach a stoplight and the power's out, of course, we all know, treat it like a four-way stop. Treat it like a stop sign. Just because you're on the main road that might be 2 lanes. I mean, Detroit through there is 2 lanes, and Abbey, I think, is 1, maybe 2. Just make sure you're stopped, make sure everybody's safe. With all the rain, it being wet, might be slick. Don't try to get in too big of a hurry. Let's get back to our radar here, get back to reality, back to what's going on right now. So the lows nearby, to answer your question, the clouds have limited the severe threat, and that's what I was telling you about yesterday, essentially. When's the next severe threat after this? It's going to be a while. Not tomorrow. It's going to be a while. For Northeast Ohio, maybe towards the end of next week. We don't really rebound much. There's not a whole lot of rebounding coming our way, so I don't expect a whole lot of rebounding at all. It's all a cycle. Cheesecake. It's all. Weather is a cycle. Weather is that never-ending balance of finding equilibrium. You get rain, it cools off, it heats up. You get more rain, it cools off, it heats up. It's because of our daily cycles. We have nighttime, we have daytime. At night, we cool off. At day, we warm up. If we didn't rotate on our axis, if we didn't have that spin and that difference between the hot and cold air, if it wasn't trying to replace itself, hot and cold don't mix very well. So if we didn't rotate, we wouldn't have weather like this. So for some reason, that's the reason, because we rotate on our axis. Brook Park and 480 West, get on the on-ramp flooded, may need to get a boat. Portage County's looking wet eventually. Marla, yeah, it's been a disappointingly cold May for sure, especially for an outdoor enthusiast. Marla, to answer your questions. Mark, I got socks on. Don't worry about that, man. Portage County's looking wet. Not yet, but you're going to get that heavier rain. You've got lightning coming in. You've got some thunder. You can probably hear thunder. You can probably hear it rolling through. So just be careful. I'm going to look up 480 at Brook Park. I can throw. We've got ODOTs. You have to bear with me for a minute while I pop up another source. But that's the joy of this whole setup here. How many sources can I pull up? We're about to find out. All right. Maybe I can just, yeah. Oh, no. Doesn't work that way. Does it work that way? No, it doesn't work that way. All right. So 480 at Brook Park. I can pop it up for you. Takes a while because I'm logged into 14 different computers right now, so bear with me. Goodness gracious. I'm just going to drag. Man, look at the visibility. Yeah, it's getting dumped on 480 at the turnpike. Not too bad there. I mean, it's wet. It's definitely wet. But West 130th. State Road. This is at 90, State Route 94. Transportation, not a whole lot just yet. I can throw on the radar here. I think 77, 71 rather. Let's pop up some cameras along 71. We don't have any cameras along the turnpike. Of course, the turnpike is like privately ran essentially, so there's no ODOT cameras on that, but there are some maybe some I've lost my train of thought. We don't have cameras on the ODOTs there. Let's pop up. Let's go through Route 71, or I-71 rather. Lots of visibility issues. Not a whole lot at 82. That's good. A little Bagley. Once you get closer to 480, it's going to be quite a bit wetter. Here's Snow Road. I mean, we're all just wet. Here's 71 at 480. Maybe not. Will this show us? We're starting to see some slowdowns on at Snow Road there, off the top of the camera there, right at the top there. So that's maybe some accidents. I know it's 3 o'clock, so the peak of that evening commute isn't quite going just yet, but we can head farther up 71. Looks like traffic's flowing just fine though. So there's good news there. Let's get back over to the radar, show where we are. Ray Clay, thank you very much for the compliments. Thank you very much for the compliments. What you got?
I want you to click on invite. I'm going to give you some live pics.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'll be up in a second.
Cool. Thank you. Is the Hilton cam down?
No.
My source for the Hilton cam is the crib. And it wasn't last night.
I have it.
Maybe I'll restart after all this. Okay. Cool.
I'll be here in a minute.
Thank you. That was Meredith. She is the, oh man, that popped up on the screen there. That was our production extraordinaire operations manager. She's awesome. That's the link. So if you want to get in here, you can actually throw some stuff in there as well. We might try to, find a new way to share that while we're streaming live. Live and learn, right? Anyway, I don't know if that's a bad thing to show. But yeah. Let me plug in. She told me to plug in. I've got about 50% battery on my IFB also. Avon, Ohio, getting dumped on. Heavy rain. Akron, it's near you. It's very near you. Oh, let's get into that Akron camera. We've got an awesome camera in Akron. Heavy rain, frequent lightning coming your direction. Here's the Akron live cam. It doesn't look bad. Looking to the north, I cannot from here control that camera. I can, I guess, but it would take me about 5 minutes, and I don't really want to waste y'all's time, but you know what? we're here. There's no severe weather. Let's be very clear. It's heavy rain. It's lightning. So heavy rain, so flood concerns. Lightning, so when thunder roars, go indoors, of course. So I want to be very clear that with the heavy rain here, with the potential for severe weather being this low, I'm going to take a little bit of time here. Bear with me, and I can log into our camera here, our Akron camera, and I can move it. I'm going to turn this camera downtown. Yeah, well, I'm moving Akron right now, so don't pull it up yet. On the second source, I don't see it. It's just, it's blank. Me. Ha. There we go. I'm back. So if you can, is it the Hilton cam? Yes. I just removed you. Silo cam. So that silo camera right there that I'm showing you, that we got the split screen there, that is essentially our back parking lot. We got a big silo with all our transmitter stuff in it, and that's our back parking lot. So that's the view, which is not much of a view. There's some heavy rain. I still got Akron behind me here. I'm logging in, and I can move this around. All right, we've also got a camera on the Hilton. It's up like 30, 40 floors, looking toward maybe toward the west, because we can see the building on the far left side there. Not good visibility. There's some heavy rain. Here we go. Finally logged into Akron. Let's turn this camera around. Can you pull up on the ODOT 71 at Denison? Matt Bruning with ODOT is he's just kind of commented on there and said pull it up because we got some ponding on the highways. This camera doesn't give us much of a good shot at to the west in Akron, but we're looking. We're trying to find it. That's some heavy rain just to the south though. So Colleen, I don't know what you're trying to say. Wellington, Ohio is going to get some heavy rain for sure. Let's pop back over to the radar. When I tell you how happy I am that we have this whole setup here and I can just pop everything in here while I'm sitting here, it makes my job so much easier to tell you guys what's going on. So props to management for getting this thing going, because I'm loving it. Loving the ability, the tools right here at my fingertips. Akron, here we go. Let's start talking about it. Heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning. This is what I'm talking about. You see this little cluster right here? This actual portion has been making its way from essentially through Richland, through Ashland counties into Wayne County. That's what's been going, essentially been making its way across the entire area. There was a warning with it earlier. Had the potential for 1-inch hail, didn't have any reports. I also didn't see any big hail out there or any big wind out there either, but there was that potential out there as well. Really quickly, let's pop this on here. This is 71 at Denison. Make it a little bigger. Matt Bruning with ODOT talking about ponding. Look at that. So you see the, I guess I'm only on half the screen, but you see the spray, and you see how it's coming off the front tires as well. That's right there. That's ponding on the very southern kind of bottom edge of that. All right. Is that remote 19 or 20? Make it full screen. So the bottom edge here, you're going to see on the right, look at that. Hydroplaning, zero visibility. You know, if you've ever been driving on the interstate and you see and the cars in front of you are hitting those big puddles, you're just getting dumped on. Even the cars next to you. So yeah, look at that car right there. It's getting worse and worse as we go. Heavy rain rolling through. So make sure you're careful as this heavy rain continues to roll through. That's going to be something. I think the flood advisories, I think, are going to be more and more of an issue, more and more of a concern for the next probably hour, and just the overall driving concerns. Back to Akron, just gray right now. With that heavy rain just to the south of Akron. Cleveland getting dumped on right now. No severe weather. If there was a severe thunderstorm warning, we'd be talking about hail. We'd be talking about heavy or large damaging wind or large hail or even tornadoes or anything like that, which I'm not. Then I wouldn't be sitting back, of course, kind of relaxing. Right now, we're just tracking out on Facebook and YouTube. We're just tracking out some heavy rain. Pea-sized hail, just got a report in Orville. Yeah, absolutely. Pea-sized hail. Ray Clay, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let's see what we have. Pea-sized hail in Orville, just with that little cluster there. That's interesting. Quite a bit of lightning moving into Akron, so be careful. If you live near Akron, Doylestown, Wadsworth, Barberton, you're probably on the backside of it for Doylestown and Wadsworth, but Barberton still getting some heavy stuff. This is all heading toward like Kent and Ravenna area. I can put a track on it. Let's pause the motion so we've got an idea of where it is. Now, this storm is moving off towards the northeast. Remember, they were moving essentially straight east at about 25 or 30. They've picked up to about 30 miles per hour. So Ravenna, Kent-Ravenna, that 59 corridor is about 20 minutes away. It's only 10 miles away. There's lightning nearby, so if you're outside in Ravenna, it's time to come inside. It's definitely time to bring the kiddos inside. Ellen, definitely hearing some thunder in Akron, for sure. So it's time. It's time to bring stuff inside as well. 90 at 77. Matt, man, you're helping me out a ton. Matt with ODOT. 90 at 77. I can pop that in right here and throw it on the screen for you. Bear with me. Yikes. No, we got it. Look at that. That's going across the Interbelt Bridge. There's brake lights coming around the bend. That's very, very little visibility. Here's the other side of the bridge. Doesn't look as bad. So it's going to come at you in waves. This is just a little bit upstream, just a little bit closer to Dead Man's Curve on 90. This is where 77 comes in here. 77 comes in right here. This is 90 coming across the bridge. That's coming in toward town. This is 90 coming back out and across. You get that right-hand turn, then the left there. So visibility. Cars driving with flashers on. Visibility is definitely an issue with this heavy rain. I want to pop up one of the other camera and just see if we've got the ponding still going on there. Not as bad. Okay. Let's see if we can pop up. I do want it. Meredith is in my ear telling me about some sources she's got. This is another camera. Oh, wait, do I have it up there? Yes. This is our silo cam zoomed in on where is this zoomed in on? The Interbelt? Just look at that rain. Heavy rain. I want to tell you right now, if we've got this much coordination, this many sources coming at you with some heavy rain and some lightning, you just wait till we get some severe weather. Yes, ma'am. Check phone text from Joe. Joe is our digital director. Wow, I missed a whole bunch of text messages. Westlake Police Department dispatch, tower was hit by a bolt of lightning. Minor damage to exterior of building and their systems are down. So Bay Village is assisting with Westlake's police department dispatch with their calls. Joe, thank you very much. That's some great information. That is some really good information to know there. So Westlake, that's what I'm talking about. There's no warnings outside. There's no wind or hail with this, not large enough for damage, but the threat for trees to come down or damage from lightning is there. That's why I'm staying with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a severe thunderstorm warned area to get damaged. So that's why we've got this here. We don't have to be during a newscast. We can be anytime. We can fire this system up. What do you think? Let's do it. Has it been done? Has it been done? Let's do it. Okay. All right, so this is the shoreway here from the Hilton Cam, right? No, this is from Huntington Bank Field. We're looking toward downtown. So shoreway is looking soaked. Everything's soaked. It's just rain, so much rain, and lightning, obviously. Turn the counter on. In our area, we've got just about 500 strikes. I'll switch out to our whole view here, and it's about 500 strikes. I can hear the rain coming down on our roof here pretty hard, pretty heavily. I'm going to go back to the Akron camera, show you what Akron looks like right now. Thank you for everybody who's joined, who's on right now. This is it's not severe weather. We've got 500 people watching right now. That's not bad for a non-severe little weather event. So I appreciate it. What I'm getting at is I appreciate everybody and just kind of letting you guys know that we're going to be here. I'll be here. I got your back. I'm going to turn this camera. All right, Akron, getting dumped on. Let me get the leading edge of this. See if I can see the leading edge. A little bit there. Can I zoom out any? That's some heavy rain. It's really all it is. I'm not looking for anything. Not looking for anything damaging other than lightning. I'm not looking for accidents. Right, low visibility. It's big time inconvenience. But I am looking for. That's really about it. I've had a couple reports of pea-size hail. No wind reports. Nothing like that. Michael going to Cedar Point tomorrow. Rain showers. It's rain showers. That's really about it. I'm not expecting heavy rain. It'll be light to moderate showers, but it will be breezy. Sometimes if it's wet and breezy, the roller coasters will go through like a brief delay. So just know that. Man, there's some heavy rain. Look at that. So this is essentially the rain shaft right there. It's clear, or not clear, but it's lighter there, meaning that there's less obstruction. So this is that heavy rain just to the right half of the screen there in Akron. So look at that. That's a pretty good downpour. And on the radar, we can get some ground truth with it. We can look directly at our radar. Let's go down to Akron. Look at all that lightning. So much lightning that it like obstructs our view of what's going on. All right, so right through Akron, pushing into Cuyahoga Falls, Kent, Ravenna eventually. Steady, heavy rain. The only advisory I have, the only active advisory that I have is the flood advisory. The aerial flood advisory is the technical term, what it's called. It's because city streets are flooding. There's high water. There's been about an inch or so of rain from Avon Lake through Pittsfield, through Lorain County. And that's why the National Weather Service issued that flood advisory. When you get up into the yellows, that's when we start talking about 2 inches. And I don't have any of that. I do have, let's see if we can pop that away. I do have an inch and a half. That's some good rainfall. Let's go back to radar. You want to look at velocities? There's not a lot of wind. Nothing is sticking out. Nothing's bright. I mean, even some of the heavier rain you're seeing near like Akron, none of even once you get out towards the south, the farther south you are, where there's some heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning. There's not even a whole lot of wind with that, maybe gusts to about 30. This is maybe gusts to 25, 30, maybe 35. The wind is almost non-existent with this as far as damage potential wind. And then we're talking about hail. Probably not going to see much of really anything. Let's throw this on here. Couple little purple little pockets in there. And what that means is maybe P to eventually or possibly half-inch. We can pop it on and see. Yeah, half-inch size hail. Yeah, I'm not expecting damaging hail. Just expecting heavy rain, a bunch of lightning. Turn the counter back on there. All right, Elyria, yes, calming down. How long is this happening in Akron? Probably for the next 15, 20 minutes. That's the good news, is you can track the back side of these as well with this little tool we've got here, pushing through Barberton. So Akron, 15, 20 minutes, and the back side, the heavy rain is gone. Just had thunder in Wycliffe, Danita, Harcher. Yeah, there is some, it's not even raining in Wycliffe, light showers. And that's that's really the whole reason why I always say, if you're close enough to hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck. You do not have to be near the storm. You can be within 30 miles of the storm. That lightning can strike around the area. Light rain, no rain. Let's get up to Wycliffe. And there you go. There's your lightning. You can hear it. Heavy rain coming your way, though, in Wycliffe. It's just a few minutes away. Wellington, yeah, you're on the back side of it, and it's trying to pull on out. It's trying to pull on out. Lighter rain pushing through Wellington. Cool. Joe, yeah, so Matt Bruning, I don't know if Joe, if you're actually watching the stream, Matt's been directing me essentially on the cameras. ODOT is they're such a good partner. I mean, I'll just straight up say they're so good at letting us know where and when things are happening. Monica, passing through Cleveland. A little different for Cleveland. Akron's going to clear out before Cleveland. And this is why. You see on the back side of this, how kind of unorganized and muddled it kind of is. All of this on the backside, even into this advisory, even into this green area where this advisory is, there's not a lot of heavy rain. There's a couple downpours and some lightning just near the Wellington area. We were just talking about Wellington. Let me move this chair out of the way here. We were just talking about Wellington. I didn't move it at all. Anyway, there's some thunder with this, about a dozen strikes. The most potent portion is right here with this activity pushing through Akron and that 76 corridor near Lake Palmyra. This is just so unorganized that once that blasts through, once that goes through, it shuts down quickly. It uses all that energy and all that moisture, sucks it up, rains it down. This is much less intense, so it doesn't build as fast. It's not as heavy as rain, but it takes a little longer for it to kind of rain itself out. I mean, it's been raining in Lorain County for, 2 hours? Yeah, about 2 hours now. We've been talking about Lorain County when it rolled in. It was about an hour where it dropped about an inch and a half there, and it's just been light rain ever since. So this will take a while, and the problem is with it being the commute time, it's almost 4 o'clock. Things are going to start to get, impactful. We're going to get more and more cars out on the streets, and you're going to have some more and more issues with that. I'm just going to move that thing out of the way. So let's get down to Akron. A lot of lightning. Man, is that storm lit up. 260. And now this storm did have about 500 or 600 strikes earlier. So that's why I'm talking about this, the severe threat being so low, just because there's not a whole lot of energy left over. I am going to watch these next two systems here, these next two lines. Again, you can see this line right here, and you can see this push right here. This is going towards, Geauga County, Lake and Geauga County, and this is coming up through like Trumbull, Portage, and eventually into Ashtabula counties. It's all eventually going to just fill in this area with heavy rain. So, yeah, I think the flood threat for that area, I know there's a tornado watch for our southern counties, which I'm not expecting for Tuscarawas or Carroll County. I'm not expecting tornadoes or anything like that. The farther south, absolutely, there's the potential for it. A little more energy, a little more lift, a little more fuel. But I think our biggest impact is going to be not necessarily tornadoes or severe weather. I think it's going to be flooding, like what we see in Lorain County. So this area right here, with this rain rolling in, all of this with both areas just kind of sliding in and sliding up, I think that's just going to turn into a big rain producer. Big rain producer. Oh, man, what a mess. Talking about the commute. Thanks, Mayor. This is 90 at East 22nd. So we were just talking about, let me pop it up full screen. Talking about the commute getting slow. This is the, that's moving our camera. That's that 77 south kind of ramp that goes off right there. This is 90 that comes up and around. You get that hard right turn in front of like Progressive, and then it goes up and over the bridge heading out of downtown. This is 77 northbound, the end of 77, merging with 90 traffic. 90 coming across the Interbelt toward town. You've got school buses in that. The good news is visibility is much, much better with this, which means the heaviest stuff that was really messing with stuff, the heaviest stuff is slowing down. That's good news. It's going to just take time for this to run off. Look how quick these cars are coming in across the bridge, and then they just hit all this traffic and slow down. That's kind of the issue is you pop over that bridge, and then you see all those brake lights. This is 90 at Fulton, so this is just a little bit upstream, a little bit down, looking for some accidents, looking for some issues. We can pop the Hilton cam, which is actually not the Hilton. Oh, that is a Hilton cam now. I don't know how that came back. Computers. Again, this camera is up in those clouds, up in that rain, so it doesn't look like that at the surface. Akron, just getting dumped on. I think I can pull up the other view for Akron, kind of put this at our home look, the home view here, and it's just heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning. All right, minimize that, get back into other cameras. Ashland University might be clearing out a little bit. Let's go over to it. Let's see if we can, can I see it? Oh, it loaded, but I clicked something else. It's going to go away. Look at Worcester High School, had that awesome shelf cloud roll through earlier, and now you've got blue, a little more blue. So if you're waiting for these to roll through and you're waiting for a good evening, I still have rain upstream coming our way. But as far as more severe weather, it really is shutting down. Ashland University looked like you got a couple little breaks. It kind of brightens up on the field there. It's always good to see. Always good to see. Let's go back to the radar. I am going to send a quick message to the newsroom just so I can help coordinate with what's going on. Okay. But I'm going to probably by 5, realistically, they should be shutting down, and I might sneak back down to Studio C. Okay. But I'm going to wait how much of a heads up do you need? Okay. Solid. I'm trying. All right, so here we go. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about it again. I had to take a little bit of a second to coordinate with the newsroom. So here's the heavy rain. It's heavy rain. There's no severe thunderstorms. There's no damage, at least from wind or hail, which is the criteria for severe weather. It's just a bunch of rain. The only advisory I have is flood advisories. That's for Lorain County from like Avon Lake through Pittsfield. I've got a tornado watch in effect for areas essentially southeast Ohio all the way into parts of PA into West Virginia. This isn't necessarily, and I'm going to be real with you, for us locally. If you're a News 5 viewer in Northeast Ohio, I would not worry about the watch. And I don't say that often, but I wouldn't. If you're in Tuscarawas or Carroll County, these storms in these two counties are not spinning. They're not strong enough to support anything like that. I know the watch goes until 8 o'clock, might have a little bit of development on the backside, but honestly, I think the threat for a tornado for Tuscarawas or Carroll County is very low, very low. Needless to say, I will be here watching it to let you know for sure. North of that, the severe threat's low again. It's just heavy rain. Man alive, is this just squeezing out so much moisture? We need some good news. Players on deck. That was the good news, that the severe threat is low. It is definitely low. More good news is that tomorrow there's no thunder really in the forecast. It's just rain. By Friday, it's even drier. By Saturday, Sunday, I think it's even drier, not totally dry. Maybe some isolated stuff. And then by Memorial Day, Monday, we're looking at 60s again. I know. Typically 70s for Memorial Day. Not this year. Cuyahoga Falls getting dumped on. The heaviest stuff is through Cuyahoga Falls. So I'm answering questions. I'm picking out some cities. Amanda asking about Cuyahoga Falls. Yeah, the heaviest stuff, the steadiest stuff is through. It's just light rain for Cuyahoga Falls now. Once this last little push just kind of rolls right on through like the Route 8 corridor. So be careful with that. Just make sure you're paying attention. Let's see here. Chippewa Lake, very similar there. It's absolutely dumping right now in Hudson. Heavy rain, but no severe weather. No severe weather with this, just a bunch of lightning. Eric Francis, man, you got to leave me alone. At some point in time, harassment is just relentless. Anyway, appreciate that though. Berea, getting dumped on some heavier rain. That's the rain you can hear on the ceiling, on the ceiling coming through the gutters. No, nothing severe. It's just heavy rain and some lightning. For the 5? Mm-hmm.
You have for the weather.
Oh, for sure. At like 4:30, we're going to decide if we go back to the other studio or stay on this. But I think like over the next hour, this should be trying to taper itself off.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so Cleveland's on the back side of this. Euclid, you are getting hit with some heavier rain right now, pushing into Lake County as well. Menor, you're next. I can put a timer on it and track it out to Menor. If you're in Menor, if you got plans this evening, just know that in about 10 minutes, you've got heavier rain coming your way. And it'll last, about an hour or so. Let's track it to Madison. I can put that same tool and track it all the way to that, Ashtabula County line. It's about 45, 50 minutes away. Just kind of quieted here on our roof. So if you can hear that, it's always good news. Heavy rain shutting down. That means the flood threat shuts down, and that means the concerns kind of shut down as well. But look at this mess. Let me show you that 90 at really the inner belt. Lots of traffic. Typically, there's a bunch of traffic, but now it's just wet, so it's going to be a little bit on the slick side. So make sure you're not getting in too big of a hurry. To show more of... Cool. There's the backup coming in from the west side and going out toward the west side. This is 90. You can see 176. That kind of shuts off right there. 71, it goes south. That's the cutoff. 90 goes up and around. There's 490 that goes straight on through to 77. That construction already squeezes the 4 lanes down to 3. So This is coming off the inner belt. That's the ramp right there. This is 90, 490 coming through, and then 70, 77 coming in there joining, 71 rather coming in to join as well. So it's slow. It's a slow evening drive with this rain. The good news is, though, the best news I can say, though, is that this area right here in Cleveland is going to slowly dry out, and there's no flood advisories or warnings for it just yet. And I honestly, the runoff is an issue, is a big issue, but the heaviest stuff is sliding out of downtown Cleveland. Now it's still hanging around Parma. 77 along like 480 Independence area. Yeah, you're getting some heavy rain. I can actually pull a camera up in that area and see what we've got going on. It looks like we're going to have to be dealing with some slow traffic and some low visibility for a while. Let me pop in 77 at 480. Kind of rolling through our cameras here real quick. 77 at 90. Oh, wow. Let me throw this camera on here. That's 77 northbound at Harvard. That's slow. That's slow. Go to Pershing. Backed up all the way. And look at that interchange. So this is 490 at Broadway and 77. That whole little opportunity corridor, little kind of interchange there. 77 northbound looks like it's going over toward like 490. That looks very slow. Let's head down to Grant. Doesn't look bad. It's slow. 77 at 40, we have a quad view. It doesn't look bad either, but there is some heavy rain. A little bigger view there shows some visibility issues. Just kind of rolling through these cameras, looking for some ponding on the roads or anything like that. 77 at 271, yeah. That's always seems to be kind of slow around that area, though. Okay, let's go back to the radar. I'm done looking at ODOTs. I can only look at ODOTs for so long, right? It shows us what's going on, but let's look at the radar. Get back to my weather roots and start talking about the rain, the heavy rain, the lightning. I'm going to turn the lightning on to show you the first concern. This is the number one big concern for Ravenna, for the I-76 corridor, rolling right on through Akron, Brimfield, Kent. Look at all that lightning. I'll put the count on. That's, almost 200 strikes in there? That's a ton of lightning pushing right on through. North of Rootstown, there's 76, that corridor approaching the Turnpike. Yes, it's heavy rain, but I think lightning. We already have reports at the Westlake Police Department. They're reporting that their dispatch was struck. One of their towers was struck, so Bay Village is helping them out. So that's one of the concerns that we're having with lightning. Cannot issue a severe thunderstorm warning for lightning, for the number of lightning, the amount of lightning, the strikes that they have. It could be one with huge hail and big wind and there's a warning, or it could be 200. It could be 1,000 strikes, but if there's no hail and no wind, there's no warning for it. That's why I'm on here. Not just limited to warnings. I'm talking about the potential threat for any damage or any danger at all. Lightning. It's 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the surface of the sun. So that's why lightning's so dangerous and why it's so damaging. Those strikes, for sure, they bring down trees. I just showed you yesterday on News 5 at 5 during the World of Weather, lightning striking a police car. They strike cars. So lightning's never anything to mess around with. There's less of it to the north, less of it from Westlake, Cleveland, Euclid. Man, there's some heavy rain rolling through or into Lake County, out of Cuyahoga into Lake and Geauga counties. Mayfield, that 271 corridor. Wickliffe, heavy rain. Yes, absolutely. Just saw some some heavy rain out there for sure. Really starting to pick up there. Trevor, as far as Berea, let's go back to Berea. Let's show you what we have for the airport. Look at that. Much calmer. Now, it's still rain. The heavy stuff has slid out of Berea, away from the airport. There's North Olmsted, Avon Lake, Amherst through Elyria. This is still some moderate rain. Anytime you're seeing yellows out there, The green is light, darker green. It gets up into moderate, heads over into the yellow colors. You can look at our scale up here. It's essentially the green, light, moderate. Once you get up into those reds, and we start talking about that heavier rain. Once you get into the reds, yellows and reds, that is some big time heavy rain. But yellows are moderate. Not looking at any wind either. There's a flood warning. Flash flood. Oh, tornado watch. Come on. Clicking on the wrong one. Anyway, that's a flash flood watch. Warning, rather. The red you're seeing there. Let me see if I can pop it over. It's out of our viewing area. But this is from this heavy rain in these areas where you have a lot of elevation change, a lot of runoff. Those you've driven 77 through like southern Ohio into West Virginia. You know there's some big time elevation changes, so that all has to run off somewhere, and that's where we're seeing some big issues with some of that flooding. That tornado watch is probably going to be trimmed off early. Got a little bit around the backside, Tiffin, Bucyrus, Mansfield, a little bit of rain back there, and that's going to be expected. I'm going to be tracking rain for the next 36 hours. For the next 36 hours, not like this heavy rain. It's going to be light to moderate showers, maybe a little bit of thunder, but that's going to be overnight through all day tomorrow. It's just going to be rain. But as far as the lightning is concerned, that's why I'm here. Doesn't have to be a warning to be impactful. Rebecca, thank you. Thank you. All right, so what's the science behind Stowe's thunderstorm split? Let's dive into it. Dive into Stowe. Remember how I was showing you those two different areas, those two different kind of clusters. You've got this one that was moving pretty much straight east. It just now started to kind of hook a little bit off towards like the northeast. What's happening? Here's, Cuyahoga Falls, Kent, Ravenna, Metz, Hudson. This is the area that he's talking about, the split around Stowe. Let me zoom in here so we can actually get Stowe on here. There we go. I'm going to show you a whole hour. Talking about the split. These showers, this is just general thunderstorms. This was stronger pushing up from the south. And like I said, these two little areas, as they kind of combine, see how they just kind of skipped over Stowe right there? Still got some heavy rain, but briefly, these are going to kind of mold together into one big cluster of heavy rain. Big time heavy rain. Now you get a little bit of dynamics that go on in the upper levels that could potentially lead to some gusty winds with that, some stronger wind. But as far as severe weather, I think that threat is still really low. Is this all caused by a cold front? Yeah, absolutely. So this is all caused. You guys are asking so many science questions, and I'm digging it. I will science out all night if you guys let me. Warm front north, the low. I'm going to draw. See this kind of circulation? When I put it in motion, here's the low right there. There's the spin. So what's happening is you've got this line that rolled off, that broke off, this line that's breaking off and kind of rolling through behind it. And behind that up here is just rain, just showers. So what you get with a low that's kind of this stacked up all the way through the atmosphere is you'll get these little lobes of energy that just get like wrapped up in it, and they break off, and they weaken once they do break off. But in that process, it creates little troughs of low pressure, little weaker, little cold fronts that roll through. So yeah, that's our story. That's what's causing all this. Let's get back into it though, because there is some heavy rain. There's quite a bit of lightning. If you've got any plans this evening, I want you to know that this will not be the trend for the next, for the evening. This is going to shut down. Turn lightning on. Show you where the strongest portion of this storm is. It's still right here. It's still pushing up into Shalersville, crossing I-76, already crossed I-76, heading toward the Turnpike. You've got Twinsburg, you've got Newton Falls, Palmyra, no severe weather. I want to be very clear. I'm not talking about damage with this, but I am talking about a lot of lightning. Occasional rumbles north of that from Twinsburg all the way up through Menor. Just downpours. Man, is that some heavy rain. Adrian, will it clear out for Woodridge's graduation at 7 p.m. at Blossom? I would plan on rain. This thunderstorm activity, the heavy stuff, will not be here by 7 o'clock, but I would plan on a couple showers.
5 minutes to show you at 1:15 for first mother.
Okay.
I'll be in your ear shortly.
Unplug it.
Westlake
Do you?
softball game is canceled.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do we need to change these batteries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go around. I can go around this way. I will be back
Cool.
with 2 batteries for you. I will send China down with 2 fresh batteries.
Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Back to it. You're welcome. I'm telling you what. I'm telling you, you guys are so positive. I can't thank you. I can't thank you enough for the support. Again, I'm streaming this stuff. We're doing it on Facebook and YouTube, and we're just streaming this stuff, talking about thunderstorms, and they're not even severe. We're just talking about inconvenient weather, and there's a ton of you guys in here. So that goes to show that I will be here. We're going to be here for you all the time. Now that we've got this ability to do this, love it. All right, so you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Everybody saying thank you. You are welcome. Berea, where I'm at, just about stopped. Trevor, yeah, on the backside. Now, you do have some more rain coming upstream. You do have some more rain and stuff like that coming upstream, but I'm going to change my microphone battery really quick, so bear with me. I'm going to give you that. And this one's connected to me, so I want to do this. Microphone might fuzz for a bit. Stand by. All right. Any NASCAR fans? That's a NASCAR pit stop right there. 10 seconds. Refueled. Re-microphone batteried. We should be good to go. All right. So let's get into it. The only advisory. I know you're seeing the, if you're just now tuning in, if you're sharing this, if you have already shared this and you're just kind of hopping in lately, we've been talking about some thunderstorms. The one advisory I do have is the flood advisory for Lorain County until 5 a.m. That was because for about an hour in Lorain County, stretching from Avon Lake, really just to the west of Avon Lake, so like Sheffield Lake through like Pittsfield, Oberlin area, just dumped heavy rain for about an hour, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. And that's why we've got some just some runoff issues. It's going to happen when you get these downpours, you get this heavy rain. You're going to see it on the east side as well. You're going to see it also. This is all kind of rolling together. Look at the lightning just fade away. Look at the lighting. This is all essentially, this is that cluster, very unorganized, heavy rain. And this is that kind of rolling on up. This is going to kind of work. It's going to get a little funky for a little bit as both of these lines kind of join together and move up into the east side. But I still think heavy rain is the biggest concern, with eventually less lightning. And I mean, look at that, down to 70 strikes from a couple hundred. Just messing with the flow, messing with the dynamics inside of that. I feel like I'm getting quizzed. Severe Storms filmer asking about MCSs along the periphery of heat in the summer. Along the periphery of heat is typically a boundary, a warm front, typically. And that's what will essentially kind of be what those MCSs, those mesoscale convective systems, essentially kind of ride along those boundaries. That's not necessarily what this is. Once this crosses the warm front, essentially, once it crossed the warm front already, but things are going to start to get a bit easier. Man, there's some heavy rain with that. Catherine, how you doing? Talmadge just had a huge storm blow through with tons of water and tiny hail. Tiny hail. Yes, it's because there's so much cool air. It's so close to the surface. These are very low-topped storms. Typically in summer and spring, these storms got to get 30, 40,000 feet up to hit that freezing level to get that hail to form. That cold air is it's lower with this low pressure in town. So That's why we have some small hail. There's not enough to give us some big hail, but there is some small hail with that. Minute 50 out. Thank you. Matt, good question. We had about 1,000 joules in southern Ohio earlier. It's less than 500 now. It's especially with this rain rolling through now, it's going to drop pretty quickly. All right, so I've got a hit. It's a segment, a newscast, a segment on the news. It's going on right now. I'm up in about a minute and a half, so bear with me because I have to put a little bit of this together for all of our TV viewers at home that are watching. I'm going to start off. I'm going to give you a little dive inside of how I kind of put a show together and how I tell the story. I'm going to start it off with the radar. I'm going to show where the heaviest rain is. I'm going to show you what it looks like where the heaviest rain went through. And then I'm going to show, I'm 1 minute out. Thank you. I'm going to show the cool down on the backside as the rain clears out of here. 50s and 60s, dropping into the 50s tonight. And I'm going to show some evening. This is called a day planner for anybody planning their evening. It's going to show the thunderstorms fading away, rain still hanging around, some showers here and there, but things calming down. So that's kind of and this is 1 minute long, you said? 1:15. So that's essentially what I'm going to be showing. 15 out. Thank you. Yes. Over there. All right, thanks, Jonathan Walsh. We're talking about some severe, not severe, we had severe warnings earlier, but these are just some thunderstorms, some big-time heavy rain producers rolling through. Had some big-time lightning as well roll through the Akron area, but things are kind of fading away a little bit. The lightning's quieting down, less thunder. The rain is still heavy, so the flood threat, and I've still got, which was just canceled essentially. There was a flood advisory for portions of Lorain County. That has since expired or been canceled, but there's still some more potential, more threat with this heavier rain that's rolling in for lightning strikes, for heavy rain, and maybe briefly gusty wind. I also had a couple reports of some pea-sized hail. I want to show you what it looks like on the backside of this. There's still some big delays. Even though the heaviest rain is pulled out of Cleveland, this is still the concern, right? Your evening commute, which is already not fun in general, but now we're going to add some ponding on the roads and some visibility issues. The good news is, as we cool off this evening and temperatures continue to drop from the 60s into the 50s, I expect the thunder to fade away, more so the heavy rain to fade away, and just a few showers to linger. All right, now we're clear from TV. That was a quick little dip and dive into some live TV stuff. All right, let's get back into it. Yeah, they need a big drop in temps once that rain rolls through. Severe storm filmer, that is because as I was updating the forecast, thanks for pointing that out. I wanted to pop this up, and I didn't entirely get to finish my update. Now I just updated that, and it should be gone. Next time you see it, that 3 a.m. lightning strike should be going away. It should disappear pretty quickly. All right. Hold on one second. I'm going to catch up on some management stuff here. Yeah. All right. So we're good. That worked out well. If you were just watching right now on News 5 Cleveland on the TV, then you saw the first time we've ever done both at the same time. All three at the same. 4, because I'm on my Facebook page. I'm on the News 5 Facebook page. I'm on the News 5 YouTube page. And we were also just on TV. So that's 4 different sources at the same time. There's your 3 a.m. just rain. I took the lightning out. I might take it out through 9 p.m. also because I don't expect any lightning around by 9 o'clock either. So there we go. That's that. That worked out well. So the next hit that I have, the next segment that I have on the newscast, the broadcast newscast, is in 8.5 minutes. Thank you, Mayor. And it is what, 3 minutes? 3:15. So for that, I'm going to walk you through this as well. This is going to answer a lot of questions. That right there will be, I'm going to start up with the radar again because that's the most important thing. That's the number one thing I want everybody to see is the radar. So show you where the heavy rain is and what's going on. Then I'm going to show a traffic camera again. I'll show you this camera here that shows temperatures cooling off. Then we'll head into, then we'll show a bigger view. I'm going to show a regional map of what's happening. Look at this. So we were asking about earlier, somebody was asking about it. This is from a cold front. So here's the low. Here's that main circulation. Check this out. You see this little lobe up here? There's a little low that's just going to kind of hook around that. That's going to give us our rain for tomorrow. Thunderstorms going through now. Just rain for tomorrow. I'm going to change this camera view. We'll walk you through that. Then let's jump on over to a futurecast. So we're going to show you the regional weather there. There's no sense in showing the futurecast beyond like 24 hours because it's less impactful. So I kind of just I'll cover anything beyond 24 hours on the 7 day, right? I'm not trying to waste anybody's time. There's 7 p.m. Heavy stuff's gone. Let's go. I'll stop it at, oh, why is it doing that? Oh, never mind. I was on the wrong one. So, still some rain, 8 o'clock. We'll go to tomorrow morning. That's where the models were hinting at some lightning. Quick little burst there. It's maybe a rumble. It's nothing major. Just some showers through the morning, through the afternoon, and then I'm going to zoom out at the end and show that it's slowly the backside. This right here is the backside of that wave. That's Thursday. This is for Friday. See how light it is and very, very isolated. I got just a few rain showers. Ah, man alive. Look at these numbers. That's disgusting. It's 5 tomorrow afternoon. That's 40s. 40s and low 50s. But anyway, that's what I'm going to show. Part of telling the whole weather forecast here. So then I follow that up with a quick recap. Got it tonight, staying soggy, gusty. I'll get out of your way. Gusty and cooler. And then we'll throw a tomorrow in there. I already updated this stuff when I got in a little bit earlier. Just after the noon newscast, I kind of updated this. Scattered showers, cool and breezy. 52 for your high. Come on, Mother Nature. And then I updated the 7-day forecast earlier as well. Apparently I didn't because I have Memorial Day on Tuesday. See, this is why I run through stuff. Move that over. And then the OCD in me would go crazy if it's not directly in the middle. Move it up a little bit so possible is not in the way. I'm giving you guys, I'm sorry if this is boring the bejeebers out of you guys, but I got a little backed up on daily tasks. All right. So what do we got here? Ray Clay, man, I appreciate all the support. Danita, thanks for all the support as well. You guys are great. I think we've got more people on YouTube than Facebook now. Gates Mills, let's go back into it. I got 4 minutes. Let's get back into the forecast here. Let me just pop this over here so we're ready to go when we're ready to go. Mary, thanks for the help. If you guys ever hear me say like Mayor, thank you, or ask questions, I'm talking to Meredith. She's our ops guru, director extraordinaire, and she's in my ear here. She's in my IFB, and she's holding my hand through everything. She calls it partner in crime. All right, so let's get back into it. Gates Mills, heavy rain, big time heavy rain, but less lightning. I mean, look at the lightning just fade away with this system. 53 strikes in this. We had 500 strikes with this smaller cluster when it was pushing through Richland, Ashland, and Wayne counties earlier. That's why we had the warning. So we had that shelf cloud. If you weren't watching on Facebook and YouTube, if you can rewind a couple hours, find that Wayne County, that Worcester High School camera I was showing you. Beautiful looking shelf cloud rolling right through on our camera. It wasn't severe at that time. Not much wind with it, just a bunch of rain. So that's why we were kind of geeking out over it. But love our cameras. Love our cameras. Maya, no. There is no tornado. I'm going to show you really quickly. You asked if the tornado is near Pittsburgh. No, there's a tornado watch in effect for here. Let me zoom out just a little bit. I'll show you what we have going on. Very clear. There are no tornadoes. There's a tornado watch because that low is close enough up here. It's close enough pushing through like Michigan. That low is lift and spin. It's low pressure. And so these are kind of lifting and spinning a little bit. These are not severe thunderstorm warnings at all. There's a lot of lightning with it. There's some fuel out here, but there are no tornado warnings. The red box you're seeing, this is a tornado watch. The watch means that there's the ingredients you need for a tornado to maybe pop up, a brief, weak EF0 or 1 possible, but it's not happening yet. Not to say it won't happen. We're going to watch this line roll through. There's just not a lot of fuel left over on the back side of that as well. Betty, is it going to affect Columbus? No. Columbus is so far back behind this system. It did earlier with the rain that rolled through. But there's no watches, no warnings for Columbus. It's just showers, honestly. I think Columbus, I even think Cleveland the rest of this evening and overnight into tomorrow is just rain showers. Strong wind in Twinsburg. Yeah. With this system, that's that portion that just rolled up and rolled through. 90 seconds. Thank you. Some gusty winds. That's those two little systems. Like this one was lifted up and this one is kind of pushing through. They're both just kind of like colliding right there. So you might get it squeezed sometimes. Those two different boundaries that kind of grow together. It might squeeze out just enough to maybe get some brief gusts. But I can show you what they are right now. They're not impressive. I'll turn the lightning off so we can see near Manaway. 1 minute. Like we said, my next weather hit is in 1 minute. Yeah, 35 seconds away. 30 to maybe 40, 50 mile per hour winds. You need 60 for damage. All right, so we're coming up on another little hit. Oh, my Streamlab just shut down. Am I still on? Okay. Just Splash Top crashed. All right, thanks a lot, Jared. We're going to talk about our thunderstorm threat. This is all that's left with it. You see this right here? I've been streaming this since about 1:30 when we got our first little strong storm that rolled into like the Mansfield area, got our first warning. It had some strong wind with it, and it had the potential for some hail. Didn't get any reports of damage or anything. But what we have been watching since then is the lightning and the heavy rain. It had some flood advisories for Lorain County. Since then, the heaviest stuff had slid farther and farther east. There is a tornado watch box. That is for, and it just got trimmed. If you've been following on Facebook and YouTube, talking about how the threat is about 0, very low for any tornadic rotation at all for our viewing area. That's been trimmed down. It's the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh is looking at the same stuff I'm looking at, and they're like, nah, they're done. So they just trimmed it out. Still out ahead of it. They're going to watch these storms as they try to roll closer into that area. There's still a little bit of spin in that atmosphere, but not for our viewing area at all. I'd want to walk you through our forecast. I want to show you what's going on. It's what time is it? 4:15 right now. So your evening commute is going to be a slower drive. It's going to be a slower commute. I mean, there's more cars, of course, and there's rain. So things are wet. So visibility is not great, but the heaviest stuff is sliding out of Cleveland. The ponding on the roads, that all is essentially trying to pull on out of here. North winds right now in Cleveland, but it's still a west-southwest wind just about everywhere else. And that's why temperatures have dropped significantly. I've got low 60s, upper 50s right now. That's really what I'm watching across the area. Temperatures, that rain cooled air right there, are going to be cool this evening and overnight. That's essentially our biggest concern, is just the cool down and the continued rain. I've got showers overnight. I've got temps dropping into the lower 50s. As far as thunder is concerned, things should be fading away. That's really going to be our biggest concern with that. This is our low. That's it right there, just near like the Chicago area. Here's our rain for tomorrow. Minneapolis, light to moderate showers just sneaking around the backside of this. And that's really what I'm expecting for Thursday and parts of Friday. This lightning, this thunder, these downpours, this heavy rain, maybe another hour before this finally shuts down. And our models agree with that. Look at it pulling on out of here, pushing over that state line, getting out of here. It's just scattered rain showers, maybe a rumble, maybe a brief rumble, but I'm not expecting anything too heavy or too strong or even really that strong of wind. It's going to be a bit gusty, but I'm not talking about severe thunderstorm caliber winds. It's showers that will be lingering. It's the chill that will be lingering. 7 a.m., we're near 50. How about afternoon? We're still near 50. Into the evening, we're still near 50 with those showers just filling in on the backside of it. Just a brutal little weather pattern we're going to be hanging around with. Numbers in the 50s tomorrow, all day, early and late. And then after that, I got 5 seconds left. Let me show you this quick 7-day. A rebound by Memorial Day. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Busy. Sorry. I'm so sorry. We have a high school shadow coming in also. I'm streaming on Facebook, 2 Facebook accounts and YouTube right now. And then that was like live on News 5. So we're kind of all over the place. But we're talking about everything. So we can talk to, yeah. So we're good. There's no severe weather. So thank you. There's no severe weather. So we're just kind of chilling. We're just kind of relaxing with a few hundred people on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. All right. Really quickly. Meredith, is there anybody that can bring me my clicker? Thank you. That was difficult. So Facebook, Instagram, not Instagram, but Facebook and YouTube. You want to come out here? No? Yes? You don't have to. You can just chill right here if you want to, so you're a little bit closer.
Okay.
So basically, we do a lot of help for. So when I was a junior in high school, I had the opportunity to shadow. You're a senior, right?
Yeah.
For like another week.
Yeah.
When's graduation?
June 1st.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When I was a junior in high school, I got an opportunity to shadow the morning meteorologist that I grew up watching. I didn't know that it was a real thing, like that it was even a possibility. And I'm going to tell you guys the same story. I grew up in the woods. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Thank you. That was so hard to do without a clicker.
I'm not sure it's going to work. It's one thing we need to work on, but try it.
Okay.
Might not have range.
Oh, range. All right. So I grew up in the woods. My dad was a plumber. I was going to be a plumber. That was all my uncles, grandpa, everybody was plumbers. Cousins are plumbers. I was going to be a plumber. So I did this kind of as a joke because I always liked weather. I went and shadowed them. Fell in love with it. It was awesome. It was the coolest thing in the world. Then I went back again my senior year, and I said, how do I do this for real? And he said, you go to college. I said, cool. I'll go to college. Like one of the first people in my family to go to college. I was like, let's figure this college stuff out. I'm going to move the map so people can see. You guys can still see the radar behind me. So after that, I went to University of Missouri, and I decided I want to be a storm chaser. because the more you learn about weather, and you guys might notice this or pick up on it as well. But the more you learn about weather, because there's a lot of weather nerds in this chat right now that are talking about. I'm a nerd too, so it's a term of endearment. There's the more you learn about like weather and how it works and like the science behind it, the more you realize that people on TV are clueless. And I'm one of those people on TV. Like the more I would learn, I'd be like, I'm learning about, the geostrophic, quasi-geostrophic equations for like how models work out, like crazy math and different, terms that we can't say on air. The average viewer, the average American comprehends spoken word at an 8th grade reading level. There's not many like 4 and 5 syllable words in junior high. So like convection, precipitation. So the reason people on TV, it's not because they don't know, it's that because rain is way easier to understand than precipitation or snow or sleet. When you hear people say like the conditions are this, it's wet. Like you don't have to say big words for no reason because it's slower. So anyway, I wanted to chase storms. You get tired of hearing people say like, we didn't know. It's like one of the worst things in the world. Like, wow, I wish we would have known. There was no warning. Come on, we drove here from states away. What do you mean you didn't know? Like we would drive. I knew, and I was in college, so we got to go. You gotta find a new way to let people know. And so I took an internship at the ABC affiliate in Columbia, Missouri. I went to school at Mizzou. It was in Columbia, so I went to the ABC affiliate there, and they changed my whole view. Sharon Ray was the chief there, and she was looking at all the upper level models and forecasting everything, building all the graphics herself. I was like, wait a minute, you do all this stuff? Like you don't have people behind the scenes that do it? She's like, no, this is me. And I was like, sweet deal, I'm in. So I did that for a semester. The next semester, they had an intern who's now she's in Oklahoma City. Emily Sutton. She's a stud. She's awesome. Love her to death. She's in Oklahoma City. But after she was done, they didn't have another intern, and they also didn't change the code on the door. So I just kept showing up. Like I just showed up all summer. I showed up for the next year, and then I was there all the time. And then a week before I graduated college, the weekend position opened up, and they were like, "If you're interested, it's yours," essentially. And I was like, deal, done, let's go. So a week after I graduated, I was on air there making $5.50 an hour, wearing my suits from Goodwill. And then I was working part-time at like a sports store in the afternoons, and then had to get a full-time job, So that's when I moved to Texas, and then I moved to Cleveland. Moved up here in like 2011. And then there was a job here that I didn't get that I wanted. And I was like, what do I got to do to get it? And they're like, well, you got to get better. I was like, deal. So I went and got better in Knoxville. And then I came back once, and I'm still getting better. There's some comments on here that think I need to be getting a lot better. But anyway, so that's essentially my thing. Where are you from?
Menor, but
Menor?
I moved here like a year ago. I used to live in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Where in Pennsylvania?
Hour east of Pittsburgh.
An hour east of Pittsburgh. Do you know where Warren, PA is?
Heard of it.
Like the Allegheny Reservoir area?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like one of my favorite areas. It's beautiful. I love it. Lots of good mountain biking. Good rivers, good water. Yeah. So welcome to Northeast Ohio. Thanks. Where are you? So you graduate in like a week. Can I ask where you're going to go to? What's next?
University of Oklahoma for meteorology.
Yes, let's go. Norman, look out. That's so cool.
So excited.
Give me some. All right. So that's like, so she's going to University of Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma. That's in Norman, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking Stillwater is Oklahoma State. Boomer Sooners, right?
Yes.
Anyway, that's where the SPC is. When I was talking about this watch and talking about how the local National Weather Service trimmed our areas out. So They're in the watch. They're in the watch, but there's not a lot going on with that. They're going to trim that also. So SPC in the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, their staff, super smart people in Oklahoma City, they issue the watches. They issue the watch boxes for like the country. They coordinate with the local weather offices, but they issue the watches, and then the local offices can trim them down as they see fit. Because if you're, and this is my thing with national weather, with like big weather organizations that like want to forecast for the whole country, you can't. You don't know what influences Lake Erie has. You don't know what influences the mountains will have on Wellsville, so you have to have a local somebody who knows the area, kind of know that stuff. So essentially, Pittsburgh is in control of this watch, and they trimmed off our like Tuscarawas and Carroll counties, and they're just trimming it off because they have a much better handle on what happens here locally. So, oh man, you're going to school at SPC. That's so cool. Big research school. You
get classes at the National Weather Center. I'm so hyped.
That's so cool. I've been there a few times. When you get there, Oklahoma City, when you get there, let me know, and I'll hook you up with Emily.
Okay.
She's awesome. 6 minutes. Thank you. Emily was the meteorologist in Twisters, the second one, the broadcast, like the TV one that's like, there's severe storms coming. So she had a little cameo in it.
I know the person that from the National or the NSSL, the person that helped coordinate with that. I got to meet him.
That's so cool.
My mentor hooked me up with him.
That's so cool. Project. Why did they there's one line in there towards the beginning of the movie that is like dumb. It doesn't make sense. It's not meteorological. The rest of the movie was borderline accurate, not accurate, but it's at least there's no like outlandish statements. And then there's one line that's just like, the pressures are dropping on the Doppler radar or something like that or whatever. I'm just like, we don't use the Doppler radar for that. Anyway, I know. Anyway. Hopefully. All right. That's all that matters. Sorry, Meredith is talking about you right now. That's why I'm having one conversation with multiple. So we started this. This is essentially have you seen this before? You were there here yesterday morning.
I walked in here, but I haven't seen it being used.
Okay. So this is like our new, this is like Studio A, where academic challenges right over there and like whatever, all the risers and stuff. This is where they do like a couple different little studio stuff like Spotlight 5 and stuff like that. It's all recorded here. Last month, we were like, let's do this. We can roll this away. We're logged into all of our weather systems, all of our weather computers, and we can like analyze severe weather and impactful weather on the air with the chroma behind us. And we're not tying up that whole studio because they do stuff in there all day long. So we'd always have to be like stopping down, let them do their stuff, and then get back into our coverage. There's nobody here. It's just you and I. It's the lights. It's all dark back there. So, and you guys and everybody at home. So this is like our new like severe weather, like streaming. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like our new like thing that we can do at any time. And we don't need anybody else. It can be 2 a.m. There can be nobody else in the building. And we can just like pop it up, and we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We can get the comments rolling, and we can just have a conversation with folks. Because that's where TV's going. It's where weather's going. It used to just be, I feel like I'm just talking your ear off.
No.
Okay, cool. So TV, broadcast TV used to just be, and news also. You guys, if you're here on Facebook and YouTube, then you know, and you probably agree. It used to just be a one-way thing. Like we're just spitting news and weather and sports and traffic at you. With social media, with the internet, with the comments, there's just comments galore. It's 2 ways. You can get reports. People can say, what about my town? Some people are like, oh, I don't want to look up your town. It's because you can get 100 different people saying, like, where's my town? Just answer it. It's a give and take. It's a really cool little back and forth, and I enjoy it. And take stuff like this. Take stuff like this to kind of do that back and forth.
Really bad coming into the city.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't see in front of us.
Yeah.
My brother was driving.
Well, and now it's just faded away. Now that low's still nearby. Like this out here, like Tiffin, that's still some pretty heavy rain. There's no lightning with it, but there might be. So the more you learn, like these thunderstorms need fuel. They need fuel and spin. So then shear, essentially. If you just try to stack something up, it'll collapse. So the fuel is heat rising. It'll just collapse. Too much heat and it'll just drop. If there's enough spin, kind of like holding it, like kind of holding those storms together, or they can kind of tilt a little bit as they grow, then they won't collapse. So they can get stronger and stronger and stronger. Today, we don't have a lot of lift, but we have a lot of spin. So what little bit of lift and energy we do have, there's enough kind of shear in the atmosphere to hold them together a little bit. So it's a very low shot at severe weather or even thunder the rest of the evening, but it's still possible.
I heard thunder
Once
on the way here.
Once on the way here. There was hundreds. Yeah, 1 minute. And this is how long? 1:10. All right, so I have a minute, a 1 minute and 10-second hit coming up in less than a minute. And I have not prepared for it. It's live. This is live also on Facebook and YouTube, but this one's live on TV. Okay. I'm going to start with a radar. And then 30 seconds. I just showed this camera. I try not to show the same thing over and over. 15 seconds. 5. All right, thanks a lot, Tessa. Let's talk about rain, or at least the end of our thunderstorm thread and the beginning of just a relentless chill and wind, and still some more showers out there kind of forecast. This is essentially what I've been watching all day long. We've been streaming this, which you can kind of see in the corner of your screen there. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook live right now streaming all of this. We have been since about 1 o'clock this afternoon, about 1:30 realistically. But we've been watching the tail end of this try to pull out of here. Heavy rain with it. Quite a bit of lightning, not nearly as much as we had earlier. Also, been telling you about this watch being trimmed down for Tuscarawas and Carroll counties. Not expecting anything with that. Now that's trimmed down as well. Upstream, there's a little bit of lightning with that. A couple little thunder showers. Couple little downpours with that. I do not expect severe weather with that, but I do expect it to rain some more the rest of this evening and tomorrow. Here's a live look outside from our Hilton camera looking at the shoreway. It's wet for sure, and it's going to continue to be a concern. As temps cool off this evening, our severe threat will continue to drop, but we're still going to be wet. So I'm going to wrap up the live stream, and I'm also going to let you know that the clicker didn't work. Yeah. I'll just stay here. Keep it the same, and then at 5 we'll head down there. Okay. So that was Meredith again asking about stuff. We're going to go ahead and shut this stream down because the severe threat is done. I'm just tracking rain. We're still going to be on News 5, of course, so flip your TVs on. But it's just some heavy rain pushing through, just north of Warren, Ohio, Mosquito Lake, Huntsburg, Roaming Shores, Ashtabula. Less lightning, it's still relatively loud, some heavy rain, but there's no warnings. The only concern is going to be the lightning and that brief heavy rain. So, all right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time we have some thunder around. Bye.